Hello and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering EDH deck tech idea. Today we are taking a look at Zenos yae Galvus. It is a 5 mana 4/4 and when it enters, choose a creature an opponent controls. Until end of turn, creatures other than Zenos and the chosen creature get -2/-2, which can already clear the board from a bunch of small creatures. Furthermore, when the chosen creature leaves the battlefield, transform Zenos. If you get that trigger, you will receive Shinryu, Transcendent Rival. It is an 8/8 flying, and as this creature transforms into Shinryu, choose an opponent. Furthermore, when the chosen player loses the game, you win the game. This mono black deck focuses on targeting one specific player at the table, and it will be up to you to make the right assessment to focus that one player that you want to take out and win the game. In this mono black deck we will need quite a bit of mana, so we will ramp in the early game, and aside from a few common mana rocks, we will also play cards like Scepter of Eternal Glory, a 4 mana artifact which you can tap to add 1 mana of any color. Furthermore, you can also tap it to add 3 mana of any color, but you can only do that if you control 3 or more lands with the same name. We play Bontu's Monument, a 3 mana artifact, and black creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Furthermore, whenever you cast a creature spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. With Final Fantasy we also got the Darkness Crystal, a 4 mana legendary artifact, and black spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Furthermore, if a non-token creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead and you gain 2 life. And then it also has an activated ability for 6 mana, and tapping it, put target creature card exiled with the Darkness Crystal onto the battlefield tapped under your control with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. A great early game discount effect comes from Jet Medallion, a 2 mana artifact, and black spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Let's make double mana with our swamps. We play Cryptghast, a 4 mana 2/2 with Extort, and whenever you tap a swamp for mana, add an additional black mana. In monocolored decks we play Throne of Eldraine, a 5 mana legendary artifact, and as it enters the battlefield, choose a color. You can tap it to add 4 mana of the chosen color, but you can only spend it on monocolored spells of that color. For 3 mana and tapping it, you can draw 2 cards, but you can only spend mana of the chosen color to activate this ability. Once we have accelerated in our early game, we want to commit Zenos to the battlefield and already kill a bunch of creatures with its ETB effect, and then we want to play specific removal for one creature that we have chosen to transform him. So we play cards like Tragic Slip, a 1 mana instant, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. But there's more, because that creature gets -13/-13 until end of turn instead if a creature died this turn. This can happen in the same turn as Zenos came out, as you have killed probably a few creatures with its ETB effect, so you can already take out the chosen creature and transform him. Then there's also Defile, a 1 mana instant, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn for each swamp you control. As we do also play other powerful non-token creatures in this deck, we also play Flare of Malice, a 4 mana instant, and you may sacrifice a non-token black creature rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Then, each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the greatest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. Another great spell as an instant follow-up is Dismember, a 1 generic and 2 black Phyrexian instant, and target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. As we are a mono black deck, we also play a bunch of edict effects, for example Sheoldred's Edict, a 2 mana instant, choose 1. Either each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature, a creature token, or a planeswalker. Let's continue with edicts. We stick to Soul Shatter, a 3 mana instant. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the highest converted mana cost among creatures and planeswalkers they control. Once we have transformed Zenos, we want to take out the player that we have chosen. Preferably, we will do that with commander damage or with Infect. This is also something that we can prepare early on, for example with cards like Phyrexia's Outbreak, a 3 mana sorcery. Each opponent gets a poison counter. Then each creature your opponents control gets -1/-1 until end of turn for each poison counter its controller has. Let's keep proliferating those poison counters. With Drown in Ichor, a 2 mana sorcery, target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn and you proliferate. Let's also make sure to not run out of gas, so we play Infectious Inquiry, a 3 mana sorcery. You draw 2 cards and you lose 2 life, and each opponent gets a poison counter. As a little bit of protection for Zenos, we also play Necrogene Communion, a 2-mana enchantment aura, and enchanted creature is toxic too. Furthermore, when enchanted creature dies, return it to the battlefield under your control. One of the best edict effects in this deck is Raskar's Fall, a 3-mana instant. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker and gets a poison counter. For our final swing, we will use Tainted Strike, a 1-mana instant. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains Infect until end of turn. As Shinryu is already an 8/8, we will pump it up to 9, and then we will just need one of the earlier named spells to take the chosen player out. But we can also use a few Voltron equipments to take that player out, either with commander damage, which is possible in this deck, or as I have just described, we will use Infect. So we play cards like Lashrive, a 4-mana artifact equipment with living weapon, and equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each swamp you control. As we are a mono black deck, this count will only increase over time, and what I love about this card is that you equip it for 2 black Phyrexian mana. Of course, you will pay life to equip this one, because you will need your other resources to keep your removal ready. We play Strata Skyve, one of my favorite equipments, a 3-mana artifact equipment, and as it enters the battlefield, search a library for a land card, exile it and then shuffle. And then, equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land on the battlefield with the same name as the exiled card, and you can equip it for 3 mana. Strata Skyve cares about all lands on the battlefield, so if your opponents play a few basic swamps, this will also be a nice additional Anthem effect. We also play Commander's Plate, a 1-mana artifact equipment, and equipped creature gets +3/+3 and has protection from each color that's not in your commander's color identity, and you can equip it to your commander for free and equip it to other creatures for 5 mana. This card is great in this deck and probably a must play, since you don't have that much protection in mono black, so it will definitely do the job. We play Nightmare Lash, a 4-mana artifact equipment, and equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each swamp you control, and you can equip it by paying 3 life. Again, a powerful equipment where you don't have to invest mana to equip it to your creatures to keep interaction ready. And of course we gotta play Grafted Exoskeleton, a 4-mana artifact equipment, and equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has Infect. When it becomes unattached from a permanent, sacrifice that permanent. If we have Shinryu on the battlefield, this can immediately take a player out with Infect damage, and if it will be the chosen player, we will win the game on the spot. You want to win more? You get it. We play Hatred, a 5-mana instant, and you can pay X life so target creature gets +X/+0 until end of turn. Sure, this is a pretty hefty investment, but if it works out, we will win the game on the spot. And probably not the most powerful card in this deck, but if you have chosen the player to your left in turn order, we would like to play Temporal Extortion, a 4-mana sorcery, and when you play it, any player may pay half his or her life total rounded up. If a player does, counter the spell. If they don't, take an extra turn after this one. If you have chosen the player in turn order with Zenos trigger, they will be facing a really tough choice. Either they lose half their life total and get closer to death, or they will give you an extra turn if nobody else is willing to pay that much life. Alright guys, these were a few cards that I would play in Zenos yae Galvus. Let me know which cards you would add to the deck, which legendary creature I shall feature next. Make sure to check out my full deck list in the notes below, and then I would say see you in the next one. Goodbye guys.